Thank you, Lisa, and I hope you can see my screen now, right?
I see it clearly.
Okay, good. So I promise to be quick here. Uh, uh, to start our project, we first needed to measure the temperature and to understand the situation now. And for that, we developed kind of multi-method assessment. But to give you some uh, also some context, what coincided with the beginning of our project was the uh, this movie or mini series that was that did scare a lot of parents at the moment, and it was talked about a lot, and we ourselves were really scared too, because I don't want to spoil for those who didn't see it, but the main message of this mini series was that, first of all, a lot of bad things happen online to our kids, which we kind of knew already. But what was even more striking, that we as parents, as experts, as teachers are idiots who don't understand anything about what's going on online with our children. That was a scary message, and kind of as a response, not exactly to this movie, but to the whole situation. Also, what coincided almost with our project launch was this ban on children to even enter social media. The strictest ban was implemented in Australia, but a lot of countries also were trying to discuss it in their parliaments, and some countries were implementing less strict bans. Some decided that it's not time yet. What we started doing, first of all, we wanted to ask teenagers themselves, what do they think about it? Do they agree that it's a dangerous place to be, social media? And how do they want to protect themselves? And we started by interviewing our uh, teenagers around us, our target groups. And we did it in the Netherlands, in Sweden, and in some other countries where we have parents and teenagers available. And we were actually surprised, because maybe it's a self-selection bias. Researchers know about that. So only people we know are available to us. And these teenagers are quite reasonable. They actually do understand the dangers of online behavior, but they also say, well, if you postpone our exposure to social media, you just postpone the problem. And if we start to adapt to it earlier, we also can slowly develop some skills and some competences to safe behavior. And we were quite happy about these answers, but also we kind of suspected that not all teenagers are as reasonable as our immediate kind of target groups. So we wanted to do a more broad survey. So we launched the survey in our two countries, and also in some other European countries. And this was our age group from 12 to 18. So the mean age of our survey participants was 16 years, and there was actually a little bit more males than females, and we had all the we followed all the ethical rules, so the survey was completely anonymous. And here are some results of it. Maybe you will not find anything surprising about that. But one thing to keep in mind, if you as parents and adults are on Facebook. Don't worry, you will not have exactly the same social media as your teenage children because they are all on WhatsApp groups, YouTube, Instagram, and to my surprise, not that many are on TikTok. I had kind of wrong opinion that all teenagers are on TikTok. No, not all of them. But then definitely only one third of them are on the Facebook and other old people social media. So that was the first measured result. And then the second question was about what exactly do they share online? And most teenagers only share something like music, games, the contact. Well, almost half of them also share the news and their own feelings and events of their life. And they think it's a pretty safe thing to do. However, we know that algorithms create based on the news and opinions we share, they create this bubbles. So the danger of sharing your own opinion on social media is that you keep staying within your social bubble. So then the social media feed that you will get is exactly what you agree with. And then when you go offline and you see that there are actually people who don't share your opinion, you are completely surprised and think they are idiots. So that's what happens, and that's what feeds radicalization and polarization in society. So only less than 20% of people don't share anything. So, or at least they say so. Hi, yeah, Yulia, can you wanted to say something? Ah, you are in within this
Sì,
20%. Okay. So also some teenagers are very cautious that way. So these people do exist. Uh, yeah, applause to Yulia. Yeah, then another question was about the actual people they communicate online. And this is also interesting because the vast majority of our teenagers, our kids and students, they are aware that people they speak online to are not their actual friends in reality. So only very little people, well, only small percentages talk to people they know in the real world. And of course, they also are aware, our teenagers are not idiots. They are aware that it's very easy to fake your identity online. So only 3% say that it's not very likely. So people who we talk online are not exactly the same as people we talk in the real life. And that actually is one of the reasons for the dangers of online world. And another a question we were really interested in is what kind of unwanted behaviors, what kind of evil our teenagers actually face online. And again, the lucky few, less than a quarter of our target group, didn't experience any harm. But most of the people did experience being blocked. And this is one of the things that we don't normally consider very harmful, but teenagers do. For them, being part of the community of their own group is very important. So if they don't see that the group answers their questions or doesn't comment on their post, they feel abandoned, blocked, and it is a very common behavior. So our kids and our students are very vulnerable that way. Please answer that when they say something online. Then, of course, receiving some nasty or harmful comments are very common, being muted and like very little people fortunately had their personal information shared, but it also happens. And bullying and harassment happens to less than 20%. But that is again our target group. In other countries, where what we discovered when we talked to people in the conference in Spain, had the higher numbers of online harassment. And of course, also the same happens to their friends. So if they don't experience harmful behavior themselves, their friends definitely tell them that it happens to them. And another question that was very revealing to us was the question of rating, how harmful they actually rate each behavior. And the most harmful, the most devastating was, of course, sharing private information without consent. And the second, almost as harmful as the sharing private secrets, was insulting someone collectively. So practically, that's the definition of online bullying. If the group collectively tells something bad about you, it is very perceived as a very bad behavior online. And then also canceling by the group. The individual offenses are considered less harmful, and individual mm, kind of quarrels online is also not as harmful for teenagers as a group canceling. So what are the conclusions? So first of all, our teens spend a lot of time online, and they do it for socializing, for consuming news, and for meeting new people. And our teens are very smart. They do recognize all the risks. However, sometimes they do overestimate the sharing some innocent information, what I think about the situation in the world. And they underestimate the impact of this sharing in this information that it makes on algorithms of social media and creating social bubbles. And then most of our teens do experience some negative behavior online, and at least they talk about that with their friends. And another thing that is very important, that even our teens are very smart. Their cognitive abilities are probably better than ours, but they don't have enough emotional regulation skills. When something bad happens, they feel that it's the end of the world. We know all that about our teens. So this is where the actual danger happens. So what do we do? We developed the workshop and the program to address these vulnerabilities. And Yulia will tell you in a minute a little bit more about that. So yeah, for all of us, my message is let's try to make this space a little bit more safe for our teens, for ourselves. And thank you very much for listening.